Stewardship with SNB. It's probing.
You want to kill, you want to bury. What is it all about?
Beckoning on you occupying that public office to give account of your stewardship.
To be that quiet, he's the executive governor of this state and he's the leader and head of our party.
Politics on the menu.
I don't know what will happen. The governor leads, whatever directive he brings, I will follow.
What about the surprises?
Action that I've accepted to follow will be taken for my witness. I will surprise them.
Watch Stewardship at 12:30 p.m. on weekdays. Stewardship with SNB, a new trajectory to broadcast journalism. Join us.
Hello, good afternoon everyone, and what a way to welcome you to this all important program, Stewardship with SNB, on a Friday afternoon. Of course, thank God it's Friday, and most of you will be traveling home, of course, in your various homes to relax, to watch what is going on in our polity. My name is Solomon Nelson Braid. This program is viewed all over the world via our social media handles, such as YouTube and Facebook at RSTV Online. We are also on GoTV channel 142 and Star Times channel 113. Our telephone lines will be displayed on your TV set to connect to the studio and make your contributions or ask questions where necessary. Before we go into the real issues, let me advise that during the question and answer session, do well to turn down the volume of your TV set or move away from it to ask your questions or make your contributions so that we can all have a smooth conversation as we make progress on the program. We'll take a short break, and when we return, I'll tell you why we're here and who is in the studio. Stay with us.
Stewardship with SNB. It's probing.
You want to kill, you want to bury. What is it all about?
Beckoning on you occupying that public office to give account of your stewardship.
To be that quiet, he's the executive governor of this state and he's the leader and head of our party.
Politics on the menu.
I don't know what will happen. The governor leads, whatever directive he brings, I will follow.
What about the surprises?
Action that I've accepted to follow will be taken for my witness. I will surprise them.
Watch Stewardship at 12:30 p.m. on weekdays. Stewardship with SNB, a new trajectory to broadcast journalism. Join us.
All right, if you have just joined us, the program is Stewardship with SNB, and I'm joined in the live studio by our regular commentator on Stewardship. Regular because whenever we call him, he makes himself available. However tight his schedule may be, we must give it to him. I have within the studio Dr. SOKONTE Davies. Dr. SOKONTE Davies, former member, House of Representatives, and former Executive Director, Marine Operations, Nigeria Ports Authority, and of course, one of the leaders of Rivers APC in River State. Dr. SOKONTE Davies, welcome to the program.
Welcome.
All right. How did you receive the victory of Emeka Bekee in the courts? Recently, your faction of APC was adjudged the winner in the lingering court case between Chieftain Okocha and Emeka Bekee. How did you receive that judgment? Let's start from there.
Well, not long ago, this platform, you asked me about what I think will be the outcome of the case, and I told you what my mom told me. They said there are no small cases. Otherwise, that was a small case. It was obvious that the party should not and cannot and must not breach its own rules. And that is why the party is supreme. And to some extent, the laws of the land have excluded themselves from participating in decisions of the party. Okay. But the laws of the land, the courts cannot sit aloof to watch when the party breaches its own constitution, and that was the case on ground, and that is where we go to litigation. That's why you cannot say we haven't exhausted all reasonable avenues, which we did. The party breached its own constitution, and of course they must look for a neutral arbiter to determine if the actions taken by the party the National Working Committee in particular, that action was right, and then we knew from the issue that it was not right, and the court, in its own wisdom, has also given jurisdiction to that and adjudicated on that matter. And if you read the judgments, they are very, very clear. The points are very clear.
Yeah, the judgment points are very clear. But so we've also heard about status quo. Chief Tonokocha went to court to filing for stay of execution. So in that case, how many chairmen do you have? One or two?
Filing,
and who is that chairman?
Filing for a stay of execution, for example, does not give a stay of execution. A stay of execution stays. Execution stays when the court grants that stay. So your file of your appeal does not revert or change the situation. So the status quo, as far as the law is, as far as it's factual, is that Chief Emeka Beke is the River State Chairman of the Progressives Congress until a stay is granted. And I don't even know on what premise that stay will be granted, that can be changed. So we look at that. Even the people that said they took Chief Emeka Beke to court themselves, that ruling has been vacated, and even themselves have applied to vacate it.
Oh,
so
really?
so there's actually nothing to stay on apart from Emeka is the state chairman of the All Progressives Congress until Tonokocha, whoever, gets a different judgment, and that's because the judgment you want to even stay, the judgment you want to vacate, or you want to say that judgment should not hold ground. The basis on which you are building that case itself has collapsed. And as in law, they say you can't build something on nothing, and it stands. So,
but Tonokocha believes that he's in court to appeal against that judgment. While Emeka Beke insists that he is the chairman of APC.
Emeka Beke is not insisting he's the chairman. Emeka Beke is the chairman. And Tonokocha,
we know.
So it's not insisting, you know.
Yeah, because there are feuding parties.
There are no.
One is saying that no. Yes, the court says you won, but I've taken it to another court.
The problem, the thing is that Tonokocha has no case. The case on which he's building his case has collapsed. So the case on which he's building, not even on this judgment. The only thing Tonokocha can do is to appeal the judgment, and he is not a party to the judgment. You know, the people that are party to the judgment, they should appeal. It's the National Working Committee.
To the judgment.
No, it's partial even. It doesn't have a local standing. The court sacked him because they give this judgment that the court did not sack Tonokocha. The court affirmed that Chief Emeka Beke is the chairman, and that automatically means Tonokocha stands on no fulcrum.
The court also stopped Tonokocha from further
parading himself, of course. So that is the thing.
It was against the ruling was against it.
It has no basis. He cannot go and say that court don't stop me from parading myself, because what the court judged on was the wrongness of decision of National Working Committee. So it's National Working Committee that should appeal, not even Tonokocha. So we see the National Working Committee took a decision that threw up the Tonokocha, the character Tonokocha. So that is the thing. So when you throw away the decision of that National Working Committee, Tonokocha has no grounds anymore to stand. But of course, you mention him because he is the name that is mentioned. Not only just Tonokocha and his cohorts and the group of people that were not only just Tonokocha and 4 or 5 other people that this group of cohorts that the National Working Committee threw up. So it's National Working Committee that will now go and justify his claim, and it has no basis. It has not even appealed.
Okay,
it's an unappealable case.
Oh,
as it is, yes, because National Working Committee.
But they still went ahead to appeal.
The National Working Committee.
I mean, the Tonokocha.
No, we are not talking about Tonokocha. It's inconsequential in this matter. It's the National Working Committee that is consequential. All right. How will you leave the elephant and begin to pursue the flag?
Talking about the National Working Committee, the NWC, why is it that the APC NEC is against the leadership of the APC River State? What crime? What felony?
The APC NEC is not against the leadership of APC River State. The National Working Committee, some people in the National Working Committee feel that they have some access to grind, and they are trying to use that, and in doing that, they breach the constitution of the party. The NEC has powers which have been vested on it by National Congress, the National Convention. The National Convention holds once in a long period. The NEC holds more regularly, once every quarter thereabout. So that's when the NEC holds. So it now works until when the National Convention comes. One of the first functions of National Convention is to ratify the decisions taken by the NEC. National Working Committee does not have that power, and NEC cannot cede its power to National Working Committee. Whatever thing that National Convention should do, and National Working Committee thinks it should do, it will revert to NEC. It's only NEC that can take that decision before National Working Committee can implement it. So National Working Committee on itself cannot take a decision for NEC that is the decision takeable by National Convention.
Doc, let me refresh your memory that immediately after the court gave ruling in favor of Chief Emeka Beke,
Yes.
Jono Kocha and his friends.
Yeah, I like that phrase, and his friends.
It's okay. They went to the National Party.
The National Working Committee.
Gandu J and Co.
Yes.
Were insisting that Jono Kocha still remains the party chairman of.
See, let me
Does
tell
that also mean putting something on nothing?
It's putting something on nothing. It's if the party, the National Working Committee, in its thinking, wants to kill itself in Rivers State, there's no problem. We have passed through that process. Remember that in 2019, APC could not field a candidate.
Correct.
Because of some of these actions.
Internal wranglings.
Yes, internal wranglings and refusal to obey in the court's position, court's decision. So if National Working Committee or the APC wants to go through that route again in 2027 or any other activity, it's its own business. There's no institution, it is its own business. If it cannot learn from past lessons, and if that's why people believe, not only in the APC, believe that there is an intention to kill the APC in Rivers as it is and create another type of APC. No problem. See, what I will advise National Working Committee is to be patient. Be patient in the sense that, just a second.
Sorry.
Be patient in the sense that this tenure of itself, its own tenure, the National Working Committee's tenure, and the Chief Emeka Beke's tenure, and everybody's tenure will expire next year. And the good thing for National Working Committee is that Chief Emeka Beke's tenure will expire. In fact, those from the ward will expire, the LG will expire, then the Emeka Beke's tenure will expire, then theirs will expire. And they have the opportunity as at that time to conduct whatever it wants to conduct. But unfortunately for them, somehow I'll put it, is that it's still Emeka that will superintend all those processes until he gets to his own tenure expiration. So they just have about less than a year to wait. But if they think that it's not good enough for them to do things, I think they're even taking this action because they have looked at it that nationally, there's nothing happening politically that will affect Rivers State in particular. So they can afford to be doing these shenanigans. No problem about it. But they cannot do otherwise in as much as the courts have ruled.
Okay, this question I want to ask you is personal, and it will pave way for the next question. It does appear,
I don't like asking personal questions publicly.
it's okay. It does appear to some of us that most of the followership of Roger Meji may have abandoned him, except for a few of you. Are you one of the last men standing?
I'm not one of the last men standing. Have you done a census?
Because we can see most of his followers.
No, you can't say most of
either with the pro-wiki group
that is stretching.
somewhere.
That is stretching. It presumes that you know all of our Meji's followers. I do agree that some of the frontline leaders have left. But you go and do your own research. Ask anybody, do any independent research. There's nobody in APC that is as popular as Amechi in Rivers State. There's nobody in APC that has the type of followership Amechi has in Rivers State. Nobody. Indeed, it's true that some people, for whatever reasons, mostly like, and I say it, they should say otherwise. That likely for their own stomach, some infrastructure, have decided to move. You know, some people do not understand that they must prepare a place. Amechi was in government, was in position, and when he was in position, was able to patronize them in one way or the other. In their own calculation, Amechi doesn't have anything to give to them anymore. And that is why they feel that, oh, Wiki has something to do. They should go to Wiki. But I also pity Wiki that, God forbid, he loses position of patronage. They also leave him in the same way. It's not, we are not seeing it for the first time. But you can understand that. You know the strength of a politician when, how he performs, whether in power or out of power. That is where you look at his strength, not when he's in power. So, for Amechi and all those who work with him as it is now, it's also a process, a time to really properly assess and reassess, to evaluate and to audit the type of followership you have had. Was it fair weather followership, or it was substantial followership? And now I can tell you free of charge that we have looked at the situation and we are happy with where we are today, because we have come to see that the followership is still there. What it has done for those who have remained, and especially those from the second level, third level of followership, leadership rather, is that the exit of this top leadership have also created opportunities, because nature abhors vacuum. So they have stepped up. So they have just created opportunities for these other people. You know, when you retire, people step in. So people have just stepped up. For example, I used to be the leader of the party in my LGA. Today I'm no longer the leader of the party in my LGA. There is a leader of the party in my LGA. But I'm still there. So another leader has emerged. So these are the things. But some, they left and left forever, or I would say, although they say there are no permanent friends, no permanent enemies in politics, only permanent interests. So that is the thing. So it's wrong, I would say, or it's a representation of fact to say that most other Amechi's followers have left.
All right, you have cleared the air. But let's talk about October 5, the local government polls that is coming up in River State. The same Tony Okocha is unequivocal that your party will not be participating in the forthcoming local government elections. What's your stance?
Well, see, he liked Tony Okocha so much. So
no, because he has been in the eye of the storm.
There's no storm, there's no eye. It's made this some interloper, as far as I know. But you see, as a person, he can express his own views. And then you cannot take that away from him, because the constitution of the country empowers everyone to speak, to express his own views. And so it's largely his own view. Then secondly, even if it's not largely his own view, you have to understand that there is no state party at the end of the day. The party is national. So if maybe he has heard from the national level of the party that are not interested in participating in the elections of local government elections in River State, it could be that that's their interest. But that information, that decision, I never heard anywhere. The National Working Committee does not have the capacity, does not have the mandate, does not have no capacity whatsoever to take such a weighty decision by itself.
So it's only APC under
wait, sir. It's only the NEC that can take such decisions. And as far as I speak, as far as I know for today, the NEC has not made to take that type of decision. So Tony Okocha cannot tout what he's saying. But October 5th is still a couple of weeks.
Very close.
Yeah, a couple of weeks away. The NEC can come up tomorrow and say, oh, NEC meeting, we are not participating. But as we speak today, there is no such NEC decision. And so Tony Okocha is speaking for himself. As we speak today, we are in the mood of contesting the election. You see, you have to also understand two things. The APC's participate in the election is two ways. You must not forget that as we speak today, there is a case in the courts about local government elections.
To stop it?
No. We have elected local government chairman and councillors who Wiki threw away. He didn't do anything with that. That case has not been dismissed. That case is still active and alive. So there is that. So we are looking at it from both ends.
There's no mention of it.
Well, it is not a thing you'll be talking about. It's not a song now that you sing every day.
No, but we should be hearing it.
No, you have heard it now. I've told you. So I've told you that case is alive, active and alive. You know, really? It has gone. And you see, to tell you how strong that case is, irrespective of all their claimed prowess or powers of Wike to win all cases in the court. He has not been able to dispense with that, to tell you how potent and cogent that case is. So that is also another.
So where will it take you to? Where will it take the
Well, if the court in the institution believe that the people were wrongly removed from office, they assume office.
Don't it now be a natural turning the natural order of things?
There's no natural. The natural order is for them to assume office. That's the natural order. So there are those two things involved, and I must tell you that.
All right. Do you think that this year's council elections will be better than others in the past?
I don't know, because I'm not a soothsayer. Only soothsayers can tell you.
Yeah,
that
people complain that in the previous elections, the COVID elections were marred by a lot of irregularities.
Like what? What are the irregularities?
Of course, Chief Tonokocha has also said
that
they rigged the election.
That is his own
they
place.
wrote results
That is
when he was chief of staff and all of that. That's why we're asking if this year's council election will be different from others.
If Tonokocha told you, sir, I'm not here to respond to Tonokocha.
He didn't tell me, he told the world.
I am not here to respond to what Tonokocha said. Tonokocha didn't say. I'm not here for that. If that is the interest, then we maybe end this conversation. Let us talk issues, not what Tonokocha said and what Tonokocha does not determine the policy of River State.
So
excuse me, sir. Excuse me. No.
This year's election
Please, sir. Because when I say Tonokocha said, I'm not here to respond to Tonokocha's statements at all. I can't reduce myself to that level.
No, but he has been in rivalry.
If it's not in rivalry to anything, it's expressing opinion. I'm not here to debunk Tonokocha's opinion or support Tonokocha's opinion. I'm not here to debunk anybody's opinion or Tonokocha's opinion. Tonokocha is not even an APC. He's an individual. Please, for God's sake. Sometimes you journalists give too much life to these people, and they begin to assume responsibilities and positions which they are not. You get a lot of platform to begin to perform, and because you do that, they think they're important, and I'm not here for that. Please. So let us, if you have issues, we discuss issues. I'm not here to answer to what Tonokocha said or didn't say.
So can you speak to how you think these coming elections will be, the local government polls?
Well, I have never had problems with local government elections. And if you look at local government elections, in River State, they have always been the most peaceful elections in River State.
Okay.
I have never recorded, I've never heard, especially in my local government area. Apart from the last one, somebody died. And that is the only death we can think of in my local government area. And it was because of a few agreements, communal things, family things that people brought into the election. So actually a family dispute that people brought into the election. And so somebody died in Isoko in 2015, as far as I can remember. That is only incidence of local government election matter that I can say that, it has not been peaceful. Otherwise, local government elections in Rivers actually, it has the lowest turnout. People have very
less apathy.
Extreme apathy, and I do not know why. So what we need
to confidence.
I don't know if it's a lot of confidence in the system, but there's a lot of apathy. I think that to some extent, that's my opinion. To some extent, it's because the local government areas have not been able to function in ways that will impact the lives of people directly. People do not see the direct impact of local government areas in their lives. Apart from local government areas like Port Harcourt or Obiakbo and others, there are so many people at the markets and everything. Otherwise, there's total apathy on local. People don't see the reason. I live in Port Harcourt and work in Port Harcourt. Most people think, so why would I go to Degema to go and vote? When what happened in the council does not affect me directly. It's also because people are not well educated on the functions of local government areas, local government councils. And the management of local government councils, I also note that, and unfortunately, you stood on that, use that negatively on its performance. So people don't see the need of local government areas. Otherwise, local government councils are the first level of government that anybody gets interacted with. But they have been so anonymous, people have not held them accountable, and people are not held accountable, so people just think they are inconsequential. Whereas if you look at what comes to them financially, they are not inconsequential. They get about 25% of what is distributed nationally every month. So that's not an inconsequential amount of money. And in some local government, it also close to $1 billion or about $1 billion every month.
Said to be,
every month. So people should take more interest in what happens, who goes to represent them as councillors and as a local government chairman, so that in subsequent times, not every Tom, Dick and Harry throws himself or herself up that I want to be a councillor. People that cannot even string one straight sentence, they want to be councillors, or they want to be chairman, and you see them, and sometimes they have their way because nobody shows interest, or very few people show interest. So it's not about being peaceful or not being peaceful. It's about people coming out en masse to properly cast their vote. And I always tell people talk of election malpractice. Most times, election malpractices are perpetuated because the people that should stop it are not there. When there's nobody, those who are there could do whatever thing they want to do.
We're going to talk about all of that when we return from this break. And when we return, Dr. SOKONTE Davies will tell us if RISIEC is convincing enough to conduct a free, fair, and incident-free elections come October 5. Join us again.
Stewardship with SNB. It's probing.
You want to kill, you want to bury. What is it all about?
Beckoning on you occupying that public office to give account of your stewardship.
To be that quiet, he's the executive governor of this state and he's the leader and head of our party.
Politics on the menu.
I don't know what will happen. The governor leads, whatever directive he brings, I will follow.
What about the surprises?
Action that I've accepted to follow will be taken for my witness. I will surprise them.
Watch Stewardship at 12:30 p.m. on weekdays. Stewardship with SNB. A new trajectory to broadcast journalism. Join us.
All right, if you have just joined us, this is Stewardship with SNB, and I'm talking to Dr. SOKONTE Davies, former member, House of Representatives, and former Executive Director, Marine Operations, Nigeria Ports Authority. Marine and Operations, Nigerian Ports Authority, and one of the leaders of APC in River State. He's been talking tough on the new leadership of APC led by Chief Emeka Bekee, and that it is bye-bye to Chief Tonokoja in the way he has expressed it here. All right, so on this segment, we'll take your calls. Just as I've advised earlier on, do well to turn down the volume of your TV set or move away from it so that we can have a smooth conversation. I will advise so that viewers are always falling prey to these rules that we set in the studio. Please abide by them, and then we can make ourselves happier than the way we started. All right, so on this segment, sir, has RISIEC been convincing enough to conduct a free and fair elections, considering the fact that it was the erstwhile governor of River State, Nyesom Wike, that appointed Justice Edebili? And we all know Nyesom Wike, he has a penchant to control loyalty and to command followership. Do you think that RISIEC is convincing enough to conduct a free and fair elections?
Well, first and foremost, that is
because your APC will participate in the election, just as you rightly expressed here.
First and foremost when a person is appointed to a position of high visibility, like being the chairman of an electoral body at any level, it's a position of high responsibility also. And at the end of the day, you ask yourself a few questions. Am I answerable to the person who has appointed me? Or am I answerable to the people on whose behalf the appointment has come? Because even the appointer is appointed not in his own capacity, but is employed by the people to do that job. You know, those of us who take positions of election, we are elected by the people. We are actually employed by the people. Yeah. So whatever responsibility, whatever thing we do, we must do it for the people. And it's in the name of the people we are doing it, not for ourselves. Of course, a lot of us sometimes forget that and think that I have appointed a person and the person must dance to my whims and caprices, forgetting that I have been employed by the people to make this appointment. So that is the challenge a lot of us have in this area of the world. In other areas of the world, these things are clear and they follow. So I can't answer. I'm not the research chairman, so I cannot answer for him in the sense that I know. But if I were in his position, and anybody's position, if whatever position I've occupied, that has always been my guiding principle, that I am first and foremost elected by the people, employed by the people. Even when I was appointed as an executive director in Nigerian Post Authority, those appointed me, we are employed by the people. So whatever I do is for the people who have employed them, so that whatever I do will count in good stead for them, so that people will employ them again when they go and seek for employment, because election is actually seeking for employment. So these are the things that people must always put in their minds, whatever thing they are doing. So the credibility of the election, if he wants it to be credible, he can be credible. If he does not want it to be credible, it will not be credible. It's what he believes in and where he thinks that his conscience will lead him, who he thinks is answerable to. So it doesn't matter who appointed him. It doesn't matter.
Okay, let me put it
I'm coming, sir. Secondly, what I also say doesn't matter is that even the governor, who presently, as you know, is not in very good terms with the men that appointed him, is willing to subject himself to that process. So it also means that the governor has also maybe said that whatever he decides to do with these elections, it is your own conscience. At the end of the day, you're answerable to rivers people, but above all, you'll be answerable to God, as we believe. So that is the thing. The credibility of election, I cannot say before time. It's when it comes to them, the people will assess it to be, was it credible or was it not credible? You know what Mahmoud is facing, not only in Nigeria, but all over the world, that he didn't give a credible election. He thinks he gave a credible election, and it was so sad for him to say, if you don't like what I've done, go to court. And it means that that feeling of arrogance and pomposity, I don't care, whatever, I've done what I want to do. But I hope it's not the same with the research chairman and the commission as a whole.
Okay, you corroborated Emeka Bike's stance in the forthcoming elections that the APC under his leadership will participate in the local government polls on October 5. You corroborated it then here. But don't you think his actions are contradicting his words when up till now there are no primaries, there are no mention of primaries within the APC to participate?
How do you know that? I am member of the APC.
Tell us about it. We haven't heard.
You haven't heard, doesn't mean there are no primaries.
Has the APC held primaries?
Of course.
When did he hold? And where?
2 weeks ago. First and foremost, you have to understand that the RISEC has a timetable.
Yeah.
And when the judgment from the courts came, the APC was already in default of that timetable.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think, as far as I know, there was a stakeholders meeting with RISEC, which gave the APC a time.
Soft landing.
Yeah, not soft landing, a window. Because that window was available within the timetable.
Okay.
Fortunately for...
But it doesn't roll foul to the law.
That's what I'm saying. That's the window was available within the timetable.
Okay.
Yeah, so the APC has done its own congress. I'm like I told you, I'm not interested in who becomes what. And local government elections are things that we believe in where I come from, my local government area, the leadership of the party in my local government area. We believe that it's a matter that we can resolve without rancor. The party constitution does not always say that there must be congresses. The party constitution says that in selection of candidates, there are various ways, one of which is that if the leadership agree to candidates, then it goes, and that is the process we have.
Okay, the party constitution allows.
Yes, the party constitution allows that. So
okay,
that's the process the party has used. The leaders have agreed, and they held meetings and consultations, and there are consensus.
So candidates have emerged.
Yes, candidates
have
emerged.
APC.
Yes.
In readiness for October 5.
Yes,
interesting to know. Okay, do you know the stand of other opposition parties?
I'm not in opposition parties.
No, but you are a politician.
Yeah, but I don't.
You can weigh the feelings of other opposition parties.
Let me tell you what I don't do. What I don't do as a person is to poke my nose into the affairs of other people. Why? Because I do not know all the constitution. See, parties and every organization are ruled by laws and processes and policies and procedures. I do not know all the rules and laws that govern all the other parties. So I cannot fault any party on what it is doing based on what my own party is doing or not doing. I cannot. I can speak as much as my party is doing things. If you people are not interested, they want to know what is happening in Peter's house and Mary's house and John's house. And a lot of times I find out that when they're interested in what happens in Mary's house, Peter's house, their own house is burning and they don't even know. Before they come there, the whole place is in flames. So parties, people should be interested in what is happening within themselves, especially in our type of politics where all sorts of things happen. I've read that the other parties say they will participate. That's the much I've heard. But how they're going about it, what they want to do, does not concern me, does not interest me. What interests me is my own preparation to outwit them on the D-Day.
Okay.
That's my interest.
Okay, now this is very critical, and I want you to speak truth to power, whichever way it hits you or it hits the polity, not you in person. You're aware that the pro-Wike group, the PDP group loyal to Wike, may not be on the ballot because they're threatening to boycott. Do you think, considering this stance of the pro-Wike group, do you think the police will allow a H-free election to hold on that day, October 5?
Unless the police wants to be in the ballot, unless the police is a candidate, the police has no function other than maintaining peace. If people are peaceful,
but the police is not in the ballot. Chairman, yet they blocked the secretariat until now.
There is their own concern.
On the instruction of somebody somewhere in Abuja.
The instruction is General. I've told you on this platform before that Inspector General of Police is part of the problem. I have told you on this platform that the Inspector General of Police is part of the problem, and I do not have any apology to that effect. You can also see that other people older than me, both in age and biological age and political age, have also expressed the same opinion. And I also made that observation. In one way or the other, the IG of police, if you ask the commissioner, he will also tell you that it's from higher above. If you ask the IG higher above, from where? You see, the courts have ruled. So the IG has considered himself to another court or to a higher court. As far as I know, the matter has not gone to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has not said otherwise. So you can't say so. So the police cannot stop the election. They cannot. They can only, their involvement in election is not to conduct election. The involvement is to make sure that where there are fracases, they don't allow it to happen. They don't give approval for election. It's not their work. It's not their responsibility. In fact, approval for election is not anybody's responsibility.
Don't forget,
apart from the responsibility of the body conducting the election. They can only participate even if they're invited by the body conducting the election. So if they are not invited, they cannot put themselves in the process.
Police will also always be there to maintain
not always,
peace and order.
wait, sir, not always. Listen, see, we assume too many things.
Who keeps the law?
See, sir, go and look at the laws. The police can only be invited by the people conducting the election. If the people conducting the election, let's just take an American election, for example. How many police will do
That's
this?
a civilized.
I will not civilize. Excuse me, sir. I will not civilize. We are civilized. It's because of interpretation. If you are not civilized, that's a problem. I am civilized. I am very civilized. Yes.
Okay.
You see, our problem is our assumptions and our interpretations, which are most times wrong. The police, any security agency, can participate in the election only by the invitation of the people conducting the election.
But the customers only invited the police.
No, if they do, now if they choose not to invite them.
But they will always be.
No, wait now. I'm just assuming. I'm not assuming. Because I'm also assuming. You two also assuming. You're assuming that they will always be. But I'm saying, I'm knowing the position of the law. What if they are not invited? They cannot put themselves there. So don't always assume that they will be there. If people conducting the election see that there is a threat, or there might be a threat, or there needs to be an avoidance of threat, and invite them, fine and good. But if they feel that the elections can go on without inviting the police, without inviting any security agencies, you can't force them. The police cannot put themselves, because the cost of being involving the police is not borne by the police. It's going to be borne by the people conducting the election. If they look at their expenditure line and they see that first, the elections don't have any threat, we don't envisage any type of danger or security issues, and we can do without the police. They do without the police. They must not be there. There's no law that says that they must be there.
Okay, if you recall, the pro-wicked group that went to court to stop this October 5 election, one of the prayers before the court is to stop the police from participating in the forthcoming election.
Good and fine.
And also to stop INEC from releasing the voter register to RESEC. That amounts to truncating the process.
It does not truncate. You see, let me tell you one thing. A lot of times, we go to court.
So can RESEC do without the register, voter register?
Excuse me. RESEC does not need to have register now. RESEC, if it's a responsible organization, which I think is responsible, at every point in time, periodically when registers are being reviewed, RESEC will always have, or any other electoral body, I'm just using this as a case in point, that any responsible electoral body, knowing that the only body that does voter registration in this country is INEC, will immediately after such reviews get a copy, certified copy for itself.
It will apply.
I can tell you, I am not in RESEC, but I will be surprised if RESEC does not have a current copy of there has not been voter review in Rivers State since before the 2023 election.
So both organizations are independent of themselves.
Not independent to the extent that RESEC will need the data from INEC.
Maybe that's how the law makes it.
That's how the law makes it. That's what I'm telling you too. That's how the law makes it. It's only INEC that has the responsibility to gather voter information and now dispense this voter information even to political parties. Even to political parties. That's the law. So if it's a responsible organization, which I think it is, I don't know, they have not started or they are still going on, so it means that they have what it is. If it's a responsible organization, after the election or when the voter register had been updated, like we did the last one, no new one has been done. It will get that copy certified for its use. There is no expiration or certification. You must understand that. There is no expiration or certificate unless stated that it must expire. And there is no law that says these certifications expire. What expires it is when that document is reviewed. There's a new version of that document. They go and get a certified true copy of that new version. So there is nothing, as far as in my opinion, there's nothing as far as the voters register is concerned that stops RESEC from holding the election. So if that's what people are holding on, they cannot. Secondly, there is no law that allows anybody to stop an electoral body to hold the election. No law.
All right.
You can only challenge the outcome of that election, but you cannot stop it.
Oh, okay. Interesting to know. I believe our viewers are better informed.
But that is the truth of the position of the law.
Thank God you're here and you're telling them. So it allays the fears that...
no, but I told you here, something you remember, said, will the governor... I said that I told nothing stops him. Nothing stops. In fact, the governor is not even, I told the governor is not even conducting the election. It's RESEC that is conducting the election.
All right. Okay. Now, one of the reasons why Egbechukwu, the IGP, ordered the police commissioner...
The retired IGP that is...
okay, yes. It's still in contention anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, so one of the reasons why he ordered the CP here to order his men to occupy the 23 local government council secretariats is that they look at the CTC as an illegal thing or something. The Cabinet Committee chairman as illegal in their thinking.
That's what they said?
That's what they said. One of the reasons why they occupied, the CTC chairman should not have access to the council secretariat. Now, I want to ask you, Doc, what if after the elections, the police still or continues to occupy the council secretariat? What should Rivers people do? What should the Rivers State government do?
You say what if, right?
Yeah, what if?
It's a good question. Can we answer this question maybe on the 7th of October? Because after the elections.
Interesting to know. But I thought you would just throw it into
Why would I throw it? He said, what if? How would I go to what if? You see, let's assume they don't consider that. Yes, they said, the interim management committees are not known to law, which is not true anyway, but that is by the way. And that but can they bring back those whose tenures have expired? That's the question. They cannot. So what is the vacuum? How do they expect the vacuum to be filled? Did they provide a solution on how the vacuum should have been filled for this month? But so that is just for them. But let us leave that what if until after the elections are conducted and then people are elected. Then we see. Okay. That's when we can answer that question.
Our time is really running out. But before we draw the curtains, Doc, if you come face to face with the governor, what will you tell him, given the circumstances he finds himself?
Well, so far, you see, really, it's unfortunate, like I told you, I didn't campaign, I didn't even want him to be governor. I had my own candidate, and which was Toyeko, because he was of the PDP, I was of the APC. And I also thought that, I believed that Toyeko would do better than he would do. Now I cannot say he's working. And so far, I'm of the grassroots. I live in Port Harcourt. And I walk everywhere. I go to the market, I do things, I go to the shops. And I hear conversations. And the conversation I hear is that he's doing well. That's the conversation I hear. That's the feedback I get. So, and I see a few things he's doing, and for me, they are appealing. They are things a government should do. And my advice to him, he should not allow himself to be distracted by a committee of friends, a group of charlatans, a group of self-seekers, a group of people driven by their own stomach, not by the development of the state. You don't allow such distractions. You see, as a child I knew, I stoned mango, ripe mango. We don't stone on ripe mango. It's only ripe mango we stone. And so there are distractions. So that when you hit it, it will not fall down, it will be dangling and everything. There are distractions. You should not allow any of such distractions to let him derail. But at the end of the day, he's answerable to reversible, not to these people trying to distract him.
Maybe our viewer would want to know what your political future would look like.
My political
Yes. Because now that the APC has a clear standing, so to speak, and that you cannot...
Have you heard the expression, when you get to the bridge, you will cross it?
Because there have been doubts as to whether the APC is still the APC has been fractured, of course, we are aware.
Yeah.
But the court has removed this toga, and we're asking you, what will be your political future come 2027?
We leave that to God and myself.
All right.
When we get to the bridge, we'll cross, as I told you. It's God that determines. See, I tell you one thing free of charge. There's nobody can tell you that I've ever told him or her, I want to be this. You know?
All right.
But God directs my path. I don't know if I'm righteous, but he said the paths of the righteous are ordered by the Lord. I don't know if I'm righteous, but God has always ordered my path. And following God, you can never get it wrong.
Okay. All right. It's interesting. We've had Dr. SOKONTE Davies, former member, House of Representatives, and former Executive Director, Marine and Operations, Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, and one of the leaders of APC in River State. He's been talking tough on, the prospects of his party now that they have taken over the reins of power from usurpers, so to speak. So
they do some interlopers.
Okay, interlopers or whatever. So he has also expressed his party's readiness to participate in the forthcoming October 5 local government polls. We wish you well, Dr. SOKONTE Davies.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming by for our program.
It's my pleasure.
All right. My name is Solomon Nelson Breda. I'll see you again on Monday when this program will come to your living rooms. For now, it's bye-bye.
Stewardship with SNB. It's probing.
You want to kill, you want to bury. What is it all about?
Beckoning on you occupying that public office to give account of your stewardship.